We have Jennifer Gibbs on today. She is going to talk to y'all a little bit. She is a confidence coach. So super excited to hear what she has to say, and think it's going to be super beneficial to our community for sure. Hey, Jennifer, how are you?
So good. This is the best Monday ever. We have the entire year to hit every goal that we set. And I'm a Monday lover, but like this today, Monday is awesome. So I'm super excited you guys are having a call to kick it all off and that you've invited me to be with you. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, you can just jump right in if you're ready to get started. That'll be perfect.
Sure. Yeah. Well, hello, all you beautiful people. I'm not sure if are we all ladies or ladies and gentlemen in here?
I think we have all ladies on the call today. We do have some gentlemen in our group, though. I don't know if anybody's gonna be hopping on or not, though.
Fabulous. Okay. Well, lovely to meet you all. And I like to anchor the things that we talk about with a little interaction and engagement from you guys. So if you wouldn't mind just dropping in the chat, hello, so I can see your name, and then also how many months you have been doing bookkeeping. So I get kind of an idea. Are we marathon runners? Are we kind of more of a newer crowd? I just want to make sure I tailor things so that they benefit you guys. And so I'll let you warm up your fingers for a second and hop in the chat, and we'll get to know each other a little bit. While you're doing that, I will see if I can share my screen. I think that's going to work for us. And let's see, maybe it's even in the right spot. There I am. Okay, I'm going to check the chat. 7 months, brand new, 18 months, a few months, all over the board, 4 months. Okay. Debbie, Akila, Suzanne, welcome. Hello, Sharon, Chelsea. Am I seeing, let's see. I want to make sure I can see all of these. Somebody's days away from the 1-year anniversary. Shikari, I don't know if I said that right, but congratulations. That's such a huge milestone. Like the vast majority of business owners don't like have the habits that they need or the mindset that they need to stay tenacious. So that tells me awesome things about your community and what you guys are doing here, and some great fundamentals I know are already in place. I met Tiffany at a business event, and I was so glad we were able to connect. And so this is you can see my screen now. It says, This is just my picture of, I believe in you. This is my picture of like, you can do it. Borrow my belief if you need a little help on yours. And I won't dwell too much on me, but you can see we all have a starting place, whether it's you brand new or 4 months in. You know, my background, I used to do a little bit of modeling, and then I walked into a bookstore at age 15 and I discovered this cassette back in the 80s on Subconscious Mind. I'm like, what is this? You can trick yourself to do stuff. And so I got fascinated with that. And then since then, I've been in business and achieved a bunch of things. You can screenshot that. I won't go through all that if you're really curious. But the bottom line is I've worked with over 1,100 personal mentoring consultations, and I've seen what stops people, and I don't want it to stop you. So we're going to talk on confidence. As I was impressed with your leadership when we chatted before this call. They really were committed to bringing something that would serve you and help you grow your business in the kickoff of this year. And so I want to talk about confidence, because I think believing in ourselves comes through in how you market your product and how your enrollments are going, and as you build your bookkeeping business. And so to me, this is like the biggest lever that can move the most things. So what is confidence? The root confide, there's slightly different Latin, but because I lived for a few teen years in Italy, I know the Italian version, and it means with faith. So confidence is all about having faith in yourself. And when I go back, when I show this picture, it's like, that's me trying to like put on a smile and be confident, but I was still in the beginning. I still had tons of insecurities, but I was showing up, right? And so I think maybe that's where some of you are, a little bit of insecurity, but still showing up. Some of you that may have been doing this longer may have more security in marketing yourself. But these concepts that I'm going to share with you here shortly can apply to personal or business, which is really nice when you get truth and concepts that resonate, they kind of transfer all over the board. And they say high tide raises all ships. And so when you raise one part of yourself, you also raise other parts of yourself, right? Not just the community together, but even within yourself. And so what builds confidence? You've probably heard of the confidence competence loop. So knowing that you can be a good bookkeeper is going to make you more confident to talk about it, right? But then also knowing that what you do has value, and that may be new. If you haven't owned a business before, if you haven't succeeded in business before, then you may have some questions about, oh, am I really helping people? Or sometimes when you're a new or emerging entrepreneur, it can start to feel like, I'm trying to make a living here. I'm sorry, I have to market to you. And what I want to do is help you shift that from, instead of your marketing being kind of an apology for an interruption, and instead of feeling selfish, I want you to understand the value of what you bring. And I'm sure all of this is probably covered in your training, but maybe I can say it in a way that's different today that helps it sink in for you. So let's go and talk a little bit about some basic psychology. This is everyone. We are familiar with talking to each other. I say something, you hear it. You say something back, I hear it, right? But there's all kinds of other communication that's happening. And I was excited to learn that you are a community that talks about, you do some EFT tapping and you do some other kinds of energy work that's very beneficial. And so that's really exciting to me, because that says that you're aware of kind of some of the invisible things that are going on that affect your sales transactions, the work you do, the mood, the motivation that you have. And so when we talk about energy, frequency, vibration, they're all kind of similar words for similar things, but it's just information. So when I talk to you, I'm saying words, but I'm also giving off a vibe, right? Like you can tell by looking at me certain other things about me than the words that I'm saying, right? And vice versa. I can look at some of you in your videos. If you're on video, thank you. That helps me to connect with you and your beautiful faces. But there's an energy exchange going on, and most people are not aware. They have a low awareness that they're giving off information, but they are. And most people also are not aware that they are interpreting information, because it just happens below a lot of conscious awareness, right? But we're still communicating, we're still understanding each other. And the reason that that's really important is because your body tattles on you. Your body reveals what you think about yourself. And this is where it comes into play for your enrollment. And there's all kinds of ways that confidence can serve you in your life, showing up, being assertive, being supportive to yourself, and setting and holding boundaries. I mean, there's all kinds of ways that confidence will, shape the different facets of your life. But here today, since we just have a little spot of time to get anchored some new thoughts, I just want to focus on how this affects your business, because as you speak, your words communicate, right? And you may have some great scripts for what to say, but you can take, say, a dentist, two dentists in the same town with the same script, and one of them's marketing themselves and the other's marketing themselves, and one can have super high ratio of success and the other not, with the same market, with the same script. And so what's the difference? And the difference is this extra information that's going into the interaction, right? So is this making sense? Is this kind of concepts that you're familiar with? Go ahead and tell me in the chat if this is making sense. Okay, Rhonda says yes. Okay, we're getting, okay, yes, exclamation mark. All right, perfect sense. Yeah, and so it's actually kind of nice. For me, I like diagrams. I'm like, how does it work? And so for me, I put this together because I'm like, I think it's like this. And this is part of a larger training that I do, but I want you to be aware, hey, there's a give and take. And so if you can start controlling or managing at a higher level, this outgoing information, then this body language, whether you hesitate or whether you go too fast, your choice of words, the tone, all of these nonverbals, they call them, this can start to turn into this. I'm a money magnet. People love to pay me. I was having fun because this is kind of one of the New Year's posts that as I talk about money and abundance and who you are and if it's available to you, this was something fun that I put up on my profile this morning. But the idea is we want to see ourselves, perceive ourselves as someone that's friendly to money, that has a synergy with money. I know you guys you're looking at the hard facts, at the actual books. And so you can tell whether a business has money, right? Net worth, if they're in the black or in the red, right? You're looking at money all the time, but are you looking at it in relation to yourself? And so tell me in the chat, is this a new idea? Have you ever said to yourself, people love to pay me? Have you ever said that? Give me a yes or a no, not yet. Okay, yeah. But do you see how especially familiar with energy and frequency and all these messages going out? Can you see how that would be a beneficial something to say to yourself? I'm gonna allow you just a moment to practice saying it because I think it's so important to unlock your voice as part of your communication, as part of what you do. I'm going to give you permission right now to just literally speak, even though you're on mute. You can unmute yourself. That'd be kind of fun. How about everybody unmute for a second if you can? I don't know if this program allows. And I want everybody to say, let's see, let me get a thumbs up if from your fearless leader. Who am I looking at? Is it Tiffany? No.
It's me.
Oh, there you go. Is it possible for them to unmute for a second or no?
Yeah, they can. Yeah, they have access to do that.
Okay, let's do it. Okay, it's super easy. And so we're going to say the two things. I am a money magnet, and I want you to pay attention to how that feels, if you have resistance or if you're like, yeah. And then I want you to say, people love to pay me. So on the count of 3, is everybody ready? Give me a wave if you're on video and you're ready. Okay, are we ready? Okay, this is fun. Okay, on the count of 3, we'll say, I am a money magnet. Good, I'm hearing some noise. You guys are ready. Okay, 1, 2, 3. I
am a money magnet.
People love to pay me.
Love to pay me.
People
Yes.
love to pay me.
You guys flowed right into people love to pay me. I love it. How did that feel? I see some smiles. I know at first you're like, am I allowed to say that? Yes, you're allowed to say that. And how did that feel? Drop in the chat. Go ahead and let's have you mute yourself back. Thank you for participating. Drop in the chat. Did that feel foreign? Did it feel strange? Empowering? Yes. Did it feel, and I'm gonna invite you to take a screenshot right now, not that you love a picture of me necessarily, but that you can remember an image with these words and that it's okay. It's okay. Some people say it feels good. Some people say it feels hopeful, a little bit of resistance, but it's a stretch, right? To some people, it does feel forced. To some people, it does feel embarrassing, or what's the word? I just saw another word, like I was lying to myself. Okay, so let's address that. Let's address that really quick. What I want to do is allow you to feel whatever that felt like. And if it did feel like I shouldn't be saying that, that's not true, that's not aligned for me, that's not congruent yet, I'm not a money magnet, because where the heck is it, right? I mean, I had to I brought a pile, those are real hundreds on the ground in that photo. I brought them to the photo, and I'm like, the photo itself was an affirmation for me. So I would invite you, if you need to take some, throw some bills on the bed and take a selfie, you know what I mean? Put money in your proximity, because it's kind of fun. And I have this little thingy on my desk, but this is my friend, Ben, and I actively invite him to hang out with me, to come visit at my house. He can do the pop in anytime. He doesn't have to call ahead. So Ben and I are on super good terms, friendly. I tell him, bring his friends around, right? You can play with money. It doesn't have to be this big, heavy thing, this big deal thing that's reserved for special occasions. Just think about if you and money were friends and you were just hanging out, would that be awesome? Right? Right. And now if you feel like you and money are maybe not friends just yet, and that's okay. That's okay. But maybe you're going to become friends. Maybe you're going to start to see yourself. I'm going to invite you to write down some of these. I call them bridging affirmations. If you're not familiar, these are some key phrases that can help you transition from where it doesn't feel true to where it may feel true or it begins to feel true. So because you're right, sometimes it feels right and empowering, and sometimes it's like, that's not my world yet. And I want to be optimistic, but it doesn't connect yet. So let's help you connect it. So bridging affirmations are these little phrases that make what you're saying as an affirmation true. And where I talked about that this can apply both in business and personal, this is a really key thing that you can do for anything that's on your vision board that I heard her talking about, and anything. This can apply across the board, right? And so if you say, I'm starting to see, that would be the first bridging affirmation I would have you make note of. I'm starting to see that money is a magnet. I'm starting to notice pennies on the ground in my path that are like, whew, they're in my path, right? They're not anybody else's path. I'm starting to see, hey, you know what? I got paid on time. Or what ways can you start to see that you are attracting money, that you are attracting connections that bring business, right? I'm starting to see, I'm beginning to notice. I'm starting to become the kind of person that does attract money. What kind of bridges can you make from where you are to all of those beautiful things on your vision board? And I was so happy to hear that you guys are already on top of that. That is awesome. Okay. So tell me in the chat, does it feel a little bit better to say something like that if you have the bridging affirmation? If you say, I'm starting to notice that I may be becoming a money magnet, does that feel more truthful? If you're ready for the whole empowerment of, heck yeah, I am a money magnet, it's getting bigger and I'm turning up my magnetism. Some of you may be there, and that is awesome. And you have enough evidence already that you're in momentum. So good. The bridges are great. Good. It does feel more authentic, I think, more genuine if you can say, I'm starting to see. I'm beginning to notice that people do love to pay me. Okay, good. All right. I'm going to go back and share a couple more things with you now that we got that. So I want to share with you three keys, three simple things that helped me when I was beginning to get into sales and my career, both in the corporate world, I've done sales, and then also in my own business. And so I'm going to share with you a couple of short little stories that you'll probably love and you'll probably hate. You'll probably do both at the same time. So the first one, and you can see my bullet point, is do the reps, do the repetitions. So I worked for Costco Warehouse Club. I don't know if you're allowed to say it or not, but everybody knows Costco, right? And have you ever seen the people at the front that are like trying to sell you the little credit card, like sign up for your Costco credit card? So they picked me to go on credit card duty. And I was like, oh, I definitely am not into this. This was years ago. And I'm like, I do not want to do it. And I tried to get out of it, but they're like, no, everybody tries to get out of it. You have to go and stand at the entrance and get people to sign up for Costco credit card. Like, oh, I couldn't get out of it. Fine. So I go and I stand there, and some of my colleagues and coworkers would just stand there and let people walk by. And I'm like, okay, a couple of things are happening here. My character, like I function in integrity. And so I can't just know that I'm getting paid a wage by my employer and then not attempt to sign up the credit card things, even if I don't like it. And B, in the back of my mind, I had that entrepreneur vibe. Well, even at that present moment, I was working for someone else. I was like, karma says that if I want good employees that are loyal and that do the work I pay them to do, that I have to be that kind of employee, right? I'm like, dang it. So I show up and I just start talking to people that walk by. Hey, do you want the Costco credit card? I didn't like it. Oh, it was like so gross. I was like, oh, it was a fine product, you know, but I'm just like, I did not want to be in the middle of doing that. And so anyway, but I had to stay in integrity, right? So I would show up, and it was not fun, and it took forever, and my feet hurt standing there all day, even though they give you that little rubber mat to stand on. It's a concrete floor at the warehouse, you know. Oh, I did not like it. And it just took forever for the day to go by. And I would lose my voice by the end of the week, like, oh, but still I was like, hey, do you want the Costco credit card? And because I was determined to show up as, you know, in character, right, in integrity, and I was trying to make an effort to do what I was getting paid to do, then I started noticing, hey, when I say it this way, people just totally walk by, but if I tweak a couple words, then maybe they like pause. So I started doing that. And then, you know, more and more times I would repeat the phrase, and then I would notice, okay, if I say it like this, then more people like will come over and at least talk to me. And over the course of hour after hour, saying it over and over, I was able to refine my invitation until I finally realized the way that was most successful for me to offer this invitation to people was to help them understand that, hey, they already are paying for their Costco credit card with their membership. And so if they haven't set it up, then they're missing out. And so I just began to approach it like, have you set up your Costco credit card yet? It's part of your membership. You know, oh, let me just help you just fill out this form. And so not that you want all the details of how that whole thing worked, but the point is I did the repetitions. I was intent on becoming the best version of what I was there to do. And so by trying over and over, not overly invested in the result, right? I was able to refine through repetition a way of phrasing things that resonated for people and that helped them see that there was benefit for them, right? And it didn't affect my paycheck one way or another. If I signed people up, they were paying me to stand there, but I was like, oh, well, this actually helps them and it helps my employer. And so are you seeing the correlation that over time and time of repeating the invitation, I was able to refine my angle on it. I was able to just get really good. And by the time, over months of doing this, at some point I was able to do by myself what they had the whole team projected to do for the week. And then it became kind of fun. Let me see how many people I can help, like maximize what they're already paying for, right? So do you see how the repetitions at first, even if it feels gross to promote yourself, to talk about it, can you see how it can feel better and get smoother if you just go through that phase? If you're on camera, just give me a head nod. If you're like, can you see how that would help it go more smoothly? Okay. On a scale of 1 to 10, I'm going to have you put in the chat. I just want to make sure that this is valuable for you guys. So on a scale of 1 to 10, if 10, like I nailed down the marketing, I have no problem, I'm doing all the business I want to. And if 1 is like, I really need massive help here, I'm trying to get off the ground, off the runway, give me an idea in the chat of your level of sales skills and your opinion of yourself. So 10 is awesome, crushing it. 1 is, okay. Oh shoot, we got a 0. We got 3s and 4s and 2s. Okay, and some 7s. Good. And I think there was like a super high number. Let's see, 6, 7s. Okay, good. Across the board, good. So a couple different levels and no 10s. So that's actually really exciting because let's go back and I will continue on with you. All right, so the second thing, all my focus. All right, so one of the businesses where I did my first 6 figures was real estate. I had struggled in business before that, and I was like, I got to really make this business go. And so I became a real estate agent, and I got my very first listing. It was a townhome on the 3rd floor, and it was like a condo on the 3rd floor, like little bitty, not even like a whole house, right? Just a little piece of a house in our market. That's what condos are. And then I had a buyer that wanted a certain kind of house. He had a low budget, but he needed a garage for his car. So I couldn't find anything. I started driving around town. I'm like, this person trusts me to help them. I'm going to find him a house. So anyway, I see these townhomes going up that are just framed, like they don't even have really all their walls or anything yet. I call on the sign. I'm like, hey, is this going to be able to work for my client? Turns out it was the owner of the project was someone that I knew. And eventually it turned into, hey, can I sell these for you? And she says, okay, I'll get you an interview with the partners. So I'm like, oh my gosh, this is a whole townhome development. This could be huge. I'm so excited. Like, I'm still brand new. I've closed like 1 or 2 deals at this point. And this whole townhome development, like, this is a huge opportunity, right? So I go and I meet the other partners. Oh, she says, my friend says, why don't you go ahead and send me your bio and your marketing plan so that we can know if we would choose you? And I'm like, yeah, sure. Okay. And I hang up and I'm like, okay, got to write a bio and got to make a plan, right? I had nothing. I was not prepared for any of that, but I pulled it together. They agreed to meet with me, and it's going along fine. They're asking me questions. And then the question that I had really hoped, I really was hoping that my bio and my plan would make such a great impression that they didn't bother to ask how long I had been in business. Have you ever felt that? Have you ever felt that? Go ahead in the chat and let me know if you've ever felt feelings like that. Do you ever hope, like, I hope no one asks me how long I've been doing this? Yes, yep. Okay, yeah. Okay, so then you're gonna love the rest of this. So what happens is we're standing there in this brand new, beautiful townhome, and they're like, okay, well, this looks really good. How long have you been in business? And I was like, oh, no, and I'm like standing there like composed. And I had to, at that point, decide how much I believed in myself. And is my story that I'm awesome because of this, or that I'm not awesome because of this? And I just held my ground. I'm like, I want this. And so what are all the reasons that I'm awesome because of the state that I'm in right now? And so I said, well, it's been about 6 months and that I've been licensed. I have a couple of transactions under my belt. And you know what? That is great for you, because you are going to get every bit of my focus. I am not going to take these listings for granted because I have 20 others. I'm going to give you all of my focus and attention, and I'm going to market the heck out of these, and I'm going to get you the highest price. Can you see how that might relate to your situation in business? Can you see how you can use those same exact phrases, like, I will give you all of my attention, you'll have all of my focus? Can you see how that would benefit you? Yeah. Can you also see how everything that you thought was your problem, your issue, your challenge, your obstacle can be flipped so that it is your benefit? How does that hurt your brain a little bit? Maybe. For me it was, but I was like, I had to make it work. All right, going on. So you can see how all of your focus is a benefit. Now, what about the gift that you give? Are you aware of the gift that you give? Because so many entrepreneurs, new or seasoned, have a hard time wrapping their head around it. They're so busy thinking of their own money goals. You got a house payment, you got bills to pay, right? Like, this is why we start into business, hopefully doing something we enjoy and that creates a life we enjoy, right? But really, it's about us being able to support ourselves, in a way that is the least painful, right? Ideally. And so what about the gift that you give? I want you to make sure that you're looking at what you do with the right set of rose-colored glasses on. I want you, and let me know in the chat if you have thought this way about what you do. Are you a bookkeeper, or are you a family time giver backer? Are you someone that does reports, or are you someone that gives their clients weekends back? How do you see what you do? If you feel like you are just a bookkeeper, it may be outside of your comfort zone to bill at 50 or 100 or 200 or 500. I don't know how much an hour you guys bill at, but it might be hard to feel like you do that value, especially when you're like, oh, I know other people do it for this price, so maybe I should just like match that price. But can you see that if you're the person, okay, because what are these business owners doing? When are they doing their books? not during high time in business, right? They're doing their books, if they're doing them without you on their own, because they don't know to hire you yet. They don't understand how valuable your services are. They're probably doing their books on their nights, their weekends. They're staying up all night doing them. They're like, you guys, makes me want to cry, because I've been that entrepreneur before. That's like pulling my hair out of tax time, trying to catch up on a year's worth of whatever, right? You get to be the person that saves their sanity. And so make sure that you see yourself that way. I'm seeing you're starting to see your business that way. Good. You're giving them back time and money. Heck yeah. Heck yeah. What else could they be doing if they were not trying to do their books? And by the way, they're not going to be as good at as you. So it's going to take them twice as long or whatever, right? What if they're just trying to wrap their head around? I bet you encounter a lot of entrepreneurs at the stage where they're doing so much and they're kind of maxing out, but they're scared to hire employees, or they're scared to advance their team, or like they want to hire people, but they don't have anyone to trust yet. So you're probably finding people right at that stage. And so it's so important that you paint the picture for them. Like, I can help you. I'm like a part-time employee that you don't have to pay unemployment or whatever, taxes. You guys know all the terms. I know they train you on this. But the idea is you can be part of their team with the least amount of putting them out, right? And so it's so important that you see how what you do affects their life, and that it's just not you getting a client. It's you helping them find balance in their life, which is the dream that they have, right? Of being an entrepreneur. It's the same dream you have, right? You want to run a business and have a family and have a life, right? And so they have the same dream, and you are the key player that they need on their team. All right. Oh, I love you guys. You're so interactive. I love all of these things. So, but I got to make sure I get through all my stuff I plan to share with you. Oh, I have a little, I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with the EMyth or not. If it's your recommended reading there within the group, I wouldn't be surprised. But if you've not heard of this, it's been a long time since I read it, but what stuck with me is it's hard and really not very possible to go into business by yourself and to do all the things well. It kind of, one way to think of it is personality styles, right? Like if you guys are that really more detailed and analytical in nature, just because you're drawn to bookkeeping, you may not be the person that wants to be a stand-up comedian. Maybe you do, but you probably have different strengths, right? So the EMyth idea is good for you to have in the back of your mind, because you can have something to talk about with these other business owners. But E stands for entrepreneur. And so the idea is, I think the illustration they use here in the book is that if you're a baker and you want to start a bakery, you're like, I'm going to be a baker, and they start into becoming a baker because they love artisan bread and they're really good at artisan bread. But does that mean they're good at management and running employees in and out and scheduling and bookkeeping and all those other things required to make a business succeed? No, probably definitely not. So it talks about the importance of building team and bringing strategic other people into your team. So I would just recommend it. There is a couple of versions that are free if you have an Audible membership. And then he's gone ahead and done specific themes for attorneys, real estate agents, CFOs, managers, contractors. So the idea is specific to those professions. He talks about the importance of building team. So if you are a specialized bookkeeper, maybe you focus on, I do books for chiropractors, and you really get specialized and into that world and that language and their kinds of accounts and that kind of thing, then some of these may be really specific and good for you. But anyway, just a resource for you. Coming back around full circle though, you hold control over your value, because what they see comes through when you speak about yourself, right? And it can be beneficial or not. It can be powerful or not. And then I hope that as you start to implement some of these keys into what you do, you start to see it differently. Just realizing, hey, let me present my stuff 100 times and just for practice. And then by the 100th time, I'll probably have gotten muscle memory in my tongue, right? Tongues have muscle memory just like muscles do. Practice, get your tongue in shape, right? Let people know, hey, here's what I bring to the table. You don't have to bring everything to the table, but just like when you're getting dressed, and if you're like having a bad hair day, you put on big chunky jewelry, right? Like guide the eye where you want it to go, right? Do the same thing when you present yourself. If one particular thing is not your strength, highlight your strengths. It's allowed. It's allowed. And be conscious of what you're giving to them, and it won't feel so hard to speak about it. Being a taker feels yucky. So if when you are marketing your business, you're just like, I'm taking off their bottom line. If that's how you see it, it's going to come through. It's going to cause you to hesitate. But if you're like, I am totally blessing their life, and they are going to hire somebody after me because their business is going to grow and grow. And it's so important what I do. Just be conscious of the gift that you give. Okay. How is that sitting? Is that feeling good? I hope so. All right. In the last couple of minutes here today, I just want to illustrate this another way. If this is you and you're kind of like, I'm your average gal, right? But what if you're not average? What if you're super special? What if you're just this amazing person and really it's like a lioness, and you got to just look at yourself right in the mirror, right? It is worth it to upgrade how you see yourself. It is worth it. And because of that, over the course of over 1,000 mentoring appointments, these are one-to-one, this is not group stuff. Like I've sat on calls with so many people, I've been able to see where they get stuck, where they get blocked. And I'm like, I know how to fix this. I went back to my modeling background. I went to my personal development background and all of the things. And I like mushed them up in this really yummy, beautiful little challenge that I call the See Yourself Beautiful Challenge. And so I wanted to invite you, if what I'm saying today is resonating for you, then you might like spending for free on me 5 days together to really go deeper into this. Now, the See Yourself Beautiful Challenge, like, okay, good. Yeah, self-worth sounds awesome. I'm behind the camera, I'm behind the monitor. Like, I don't need to put my face on social media. Like, I don't need to be in front. I don't need to like see myself beautiful. That might be what you're thinking, but beautiful is a gateway thought. I don't know if you're familiar with the term, but if I can help you learn to see yourself beautiful, it's also learning how to see yourself, right? And if you can see yourself beautiful, you can also see yourself happy, confident, wealthy, fit, loved, worthy, all of the other things, whatever you decide to put on the backside of the mirror, you can be all of those things. And I thought, you know what? Every gal wants to feel beautiful, right? So that's a beautiful place to start. And so that's what I want to invite you to join me with, because when you see yourself beautiful, that confidence starts to go through the roof, right? Right? Like, I'm not afraid to get out in front and talk about what I do, because now I feel good about it. I know I'm blessing lives and I want to feel good about me. I will tell you, I have seen so many times, and it just, my heart goes out, especially when I'm in female entrepreneur groups and I see people and they have their pet, or they have a logo, or they have a beautiful sunset, a landscape or something as their profile picture, because I know that as an entrepreneur, you're wanting to connect with people. So you build that trust, so they trust you to do business with you, right? And when you don't have a picture of your smiling face as your profile, you're putting up barriers for people to connect with you. So let's help you feel beautiful, confident, like that girl, right? And we'll talk about how to take good pictures, how to show up good on the outside, outer poise, right? But it's also inner game. We're going to get to spend more time on this. So yeah, I put together See Yourself Beautiful Challenge. We're going to talk about self-like, and this is body image. This is also face image. This is just like, I look in the mirror and I don't know if I like the girl that I see. Like, let's upgrade that. Let's make all 10s across the board, right? Or at least I'm starting to see myself ratcheting up the number if I gave myself that 1 through 10 rating like we just did, right? Because I'll tell you, if you shared a number in the chat, and I'll go back and scroll back to some of these numbers, the question was about how you felt comfortable marketing your business, right? And I have 1, 2, 6, 3, 4, 7 was the highest, 3, 4, 6. Okay, so these are numbers, how you feel about presenting your business and yourself to the world. So I want you to feel absolutely like, I'm so full of purpose. I know I'm helping people. I feel so good and confident about me that I just like, don't try to shut me up, because I'm going to tell people how I can help them. You're saving businesses, you're saving families, you're saving sanity. You're like freeing entrepreneurs for all these heavy things they were worried about. And you're doing it because you feel fabulous about you. That's where I want to take you on the See Yourself Beautiful challenge. So we talk about psychology, things that they really honestly should be teaching in public school, basics of how you operate. I know you guys are familiar with some of that. How to look good in photos. We do business online sometimes, right? There's skills. There's like a recipe. You follow the recipe, you get the good photo. I want to teach you that. Recklessly being yourself and finishing. If you were in this program, I know you made a commitment to yourself and to probably other people in your world. I'm going to do this. I'm going to make a success out of this. Let's get you across that finish line. Okay. We'll talk about what's involved with that and how to keep the new version of you. I'll let you have a quote here. It's not the problem that created the struggle. It's the image of self. When value is good, problems are solved. This is from a mentor of mine. And I love the idea that that umbrella that goes over everything in your life, that self-perception, right? I know this is a concept you're familiar with. And I have to share Marcella. She talks about when she's gone through this process, coaching with me, learning these concepts I'll share in the challenge. Her friends say she's different. She's more happy, more present, more open. Her eyes have light in them again. Who wants more light in their eyes? Yeah, for sure. Okay. And then this is another quote from a mentor that I love. When you feel beautiful, you feel powerful. And when you feel powerful, you are. I want all of you empowered all the way. Like, let's turn it all the way up. Absolutely. Yes. I'm seeing your chat. I love it. It's so exciting. I invite you to join me. This is a way that I give back, and it allows me to be with you, get to know you, just continue to drip on you, just like pour as much in your brain as I absolutely can. So I would encourage you right now, open up a separate tab, hop over to seeyourselfbeautiful.com. And I don't want to distract you from anything else that's going on in the training here in the next few minutes, but keep your tab open. Again, it's free 5 days. There's a VIP option if you, VIP is actually really cool because there's a very small group inside of Zoom. And when we're done with the main session, I do private Q&A with my VIPs. So if there's things, my coaching rate is about $500 an hour. So if there's things that you would like to ask me, that's an incredible deal on sitting and getting like the one-to-one back and forth. So you learn not only from other people's questions, but then also like specific questions that you bring. Because I know a lot of times when I do group programs, I'm like, yeah, that's awesome, but I have this thing and how does it apply to me? So this is your chance for 5 days in a row. There's gonna be 5 bonus hours of Q&A that I'm with you if you choose into that. And I would encourage you to label yourself as a VIP because that's awesome. Okay, that's where you go, seeyourselfbeautiful.com. I think she's gonna go ahead and pop that in the chat. And that's what I have for you. You get to choose. You get to choose how you see yourself. You get to choose what kind of business you build, and it's all up to you. So I am available for the next, I think you guys go to the top of the hour. We can do some question and answer here. I know you may be familiar with some of what I shared, and then maybe some will be new. And so I will go ahead and watch. Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome, all of you. I'll go ahead and watch in the chat. If you do have a question, go ahead and post it there. And I don't know if I want to just turn the time back over to you if you want to facilitate the question and answer. See a head nod.
Yeah, that's fine. Does anybody have any questions for Jennifer that y'all want to ask? If you want to unmute yourself, you can feel free to do so.
Okay, I see. Does the See Yourself Beautiful have a social media page? Yes, if you're on Facebook, you can find, just search up the See Yourself Beautiful Challenge. I think it's just facebook.com/See Yourself Beautiful Challenge. And that's got the updated dates, registration, all that kind of stuff. Thank you for the link there in the chat so everybody can hop on over there. So if you guys, I'm big on engagement, I'm big on interaction, I'm big on anchoring things I just taught you. So if you don't have questions for me, I might have questions for you. And I might be willing to put someone on a hot seat or something like that. So last chance, if you want to ask a question, if not, I might ask you a question. And sometimes
Jennifer, we do have one question in the chat. Can you show the slide again with the struggle and self-image quote?
Oh yeah. Thank you. I missed that. It's scrolling by a little bit. Let's go ahead. So the struggle and self-image quote. Yeah, that is such a good one. Let's see. Share the screen. Yes. Very powerful. Feel free to screenshot that. It's not the problem that created the struggle. It's the image of self. When value is good, problems are solved. And so, yeah, you can dissect this a couple of different ways. Have you ever heard the phrase like, yeah, that person creates their own problems? When I first heard someone say that, I'm like, yeah, it looks like they really do. And then I'm like, hey, hold on. All of our problems are self-created for the most part, right? There's a small percentage that we don't have control over everything in life, but for the most part, we all create our problems. There's another quote that's funny that's like this. It says, we're all self-made, but only the successful admit it. Right? Like no matter what we're doing every day, every thought, do you guys realize that when we're talking about some of this subconscious stuff, like the information coming and going, do you realize that there's a couple things going on? Have you ever watched a movie and the burglar comes on or something and they're like shifty and maybe it's the music they play, but you just look at the guy and you're like, he's shifty, I don't trust him. Part of that is that actors, as well as people, if they do a certain kind of role over and over again, when you think a thought, your body does certain things, right? Like if you're worried a lot, you might just like squint, and then pretty soon, how they say, they used to say, don't make that face or you get stuck like that. If you're like spitting your tongue out, you really do get stuck like that. Like you start to develop muscles, and like, if you tell a lie and you're subconsciously, your body language goes to squinting a little bit. If you do it a lot, you'll start to recognize this is the under the surface information that we don't really realize we're communicating, like seeing and understanding. But people can develop a squintier eye over time, and you look at them and you're like, yeah, vibration's part of it, but it's also physical. Like your face physically develops characteristics, right? And so that's when it's so important to smile and to not be stressed, because the face that we're stuck with when we're old, we want that to be like a happy face, right? So this energy and this information, it becomes a literal physical part of your body. And so as soon as you are able, find the way that you can eliminate the struggle. And it starts with not what's the to-do list, not what's the the 5 things that people do. It's not the do, it's who's inside, right? And so working on that version of yourself, working on seeing yourself in a beautiful way, right? Okay, thank you. That was a great ask. I'm gonna pop back over to the chat and see. I know that I go in ways of feeling great and then insecure. Oh, self-worth maintenance. I actually am going heavy into that in the challenge, the See Yourself Beautiful challenge. Part of that is developing a support system, an internal and an external support system, working through and seeing. A good way to think about this is if you have a boat. My husband loves boating and water skiing and everything. And so when we go boating, if he wants to make sure the boat doesn't float away, he drops an anchor, right? And that the boat can float around on the rope, but it's kind of going to be anchored to the same spot. So do you have heavy things that keep pulling you back to the same spot, that are anchoring you in a place that you don't want to be, so that you have these highs, but then you always kind of feel pulled back down, right? Because in that instance, it takes a tremendous amount of energy to swim up against the anchor, right? Instead of just floating. And so there are specific techniques that you can develop, that you can make habitual in your life. I feel like Okay, so where does discouragement come from, right? Where does it comes from? Evidence in our lives, often from other people, from hurt feelings, things like that. And so because we interact with people and we interact with ourselves every day, it's important to do the up kinds of energy, the encouragement, the wow, like put on the power song, dance it out, power stance, all that, but also to make sure that we're letting go of things that kind of grab onto us and may pull us down, because every day we're interacting with people. Every day we may be having disappointments, things like that. Hormones, yes, every day you have hormones coursing through your blood. It's inevitable, and you actually definitely want that to keep happening. But managing them is another thing. So maybe I hope that's hopeful for you. And I know that you advocate journaling, I think, in this group is what I was hearing. And so exploring what keeps pulling me back down. Why is my highs and lows so high and so low? And the key is to bring them so the lows are not so low, right? Because think about an EKG. If it just was absolutely flat, great, there's no lows, but that's not living, right? If the ocean was always high tide, that's not okay. Something's really wrong. So it's okay to have hormones. It's okay to have ups and downs. We just want the downs to not be hard on ourselves, right? Over the long term. So great question. Great question. Anchor is a good analogy. I'm glad to hear that. All right. I do see Crystal with her hand up. Crystal, do you have a question?
I think I meant to wave earlier, and so I've just had my hand up forever. I don't know.
Oh, okay. Well, guess what? You and I are chatting. What can I help you with?
So I was wondering on the See Yourself Beautiful, the 5-day thing, do you go over more figuring out what that anchor is that keeps pulling you down? Like you were just talking about that. What is it that always brings you back? Because I feel that I get to really, really good spots and then it's deflate and then I have to build back up again. And I would like to just let that go.
Yes. And also, I would like to have every good day.
Yeah.
I give you all permission to have only good days, right? And I give myself permission to, and doesn't always go that way. So part of it is just a little bit of relief in knowing there's ups and downs, and that's actually normal and it's okay. I think in the society we have so much emphasis on mental health, and everybody's so cautious because there are some big downs, and we certainly don't want to play in that realm at all. But I think somehow the assumption has been that we're supposed to be happy every day by default, and live with bliss and have gratitude and look for the good and be half full. And I call it the blahs. Sometimes I just get the blahs, and I don't know if it's hormones, or I don't know if I ate too much sugar and I'm sad about it, or what. Who knows? But life is about, when we talk about doing the reps, also strengthening the muscles that help us get back to high. And if you think about maybe if your mental was an immune system, if it never got a workout, it would be weak, right? So actually the down days are the loaded weight that we get to practice lifting, so that we are in the habit of learning how to bring ourselves back, right? And that, think of it as a strengthening mechanism. And sounds weird, but try to have gratitude. And I've learned to just really have some self-compassion for those kinds of days. I'm usually super up and I have tools to get back to that good place. But some days I'm I just feel out of respect that I get to have a down day. I get to rest today, and I'm just kind of off, and that's just me today, and that's okay. And I'll still show up and do the things that I've committed to do, because part of succeeding as an entrepreneur is doing the things if you feel like it or not, right? Part of hitting your health goals is showing up whether you feel like it or not. You can apply it to any area, right? So does this help? Maybe just looking at it as there's not this pressure to have to feel great every day. And we want to have more of the good, but if we don't, then that's okay too. That's actually part of life. Does that frame it differently a little?
Yeah, I think I've done better and better, because on my down days, it's I'm getting better at being able to have that day and then bring myself back out of it. But there is like addressing sorry my own subconscious blocks about money or whatever it is.
Yeah. And so that for sure, I spend time on the emotional management, and not just like what to do, but also big picture, like what's happening and how you got there and how to prevent yourself from sliding down. Because sometimes we're like in free fall and I'm like, I don't know what to do about it and then you're like, it becomes, you kind of hit that level where like, okay, another pound is unacceptable. Now I'm going to do something, right? Like I go through all this stuff too. I've just learned to manage it, right? Like, or another day of not posting about my business is not acceptable. I have to do something, right? And so let's learn to self-correct before we hit that low, raise up the lows, right? That's the idea. And so, yeah, I talk about emotional management for sure. And abundance, the money stuff, it's just an extension, honestly, of how you see yourself. Are you valuable? Should money flow to you? If you're out of integrity, if you think people that charge money, people that charge $100 an hour or $200 or whatever you're charging, if you feel like people that do that, they're not nice people, they're selfish, they're predatory, whatever kind of stuff is in your head from who knows how long ago, whatever, if you feel like those kind of people are bad, then you don't want to be one. Why would you want to be one? If money earning people, lots of money earning people are yucky, of course you don't want to be a yucky person. You have integrity. You're not gonna take advantage of people. So what we have to do is reframe, and we will work more on this. We're going to reframe. Okay, when I accept an invoice payment for $1,000 for bookkeeping, it's appropriate. It's good and right. It's just compensation. That's what should happen because I served them at this level. Okay, so we're going to be working on that. Yeah. Oh, I forgot to mention, I did a super cool, fun, exciting thing for you guys. Okay, so close your eyes for a second, and I'm going to read a couple of lines of affirmations that I built especially for you as bookkeepers. Okay, so go ahead and we've got a couple minutes left. I'll read you a couple of lines of this. Take a big breath in, take a big breath out. I am competent and caring. I continue to build my professional skills daily. I'm a valued member of many business teams. I am the help they've been looking for. I provide relief to stressed business owners. The work I do is fulfilling and enjoyable. My work is important and it makes a difference. The career I've chosen exceeds my expectations. I'm understanding more and more how important my role is to them. I add value to other people's businesses. Okay, I go on and on. I've created an affirmations sheet. That's I think about a half or a third of the sheet, just with you guys in mind at Stay-at-Home Bookkeeper. And I'm so excited that I was invited to do that. And once I was going to do 5 affirmations, and then I'm like, no, this and this and this. And I just kept adding, and I have like a whole page, you guys. So when you enroll for free at the See Yourself Beautiful Challenge on seeyourselfbeautiful.com, once you're inside our Facebook group for the challenge, in the file section, you'll see a printable PDF with all the affirmations for you guys as bookkeepers. So that was like a little gift. I'm like, oh, I can throw this in. This is super relevant, tailored just for you guys. So anyway, that is my gift. Do we get a copy of that page? That was amazing. Yes. So the answer is yes. If you do seeyourselfbeautiful.com and enroll, just so when you put your email and your name in, you're registered in, then it offers you the option to do the upgrade to VIP and explains everything that comes with that, the coaching, some access to bonus courses. One of them is the I Am Alpha 10-part video training that I did, and then also a vision mapping course. I joke about no more vision boards, BORED. I do vision mapping, so it's a little play on words, but all vision is good, right? So yes, so there's more affirmations like that on the page, and to access that for free, you just enroll at seeyourselfbeautiful.com. And then once you're in the Facebook page is called Feel Like a Billion. It's all about feeling good about you, right? So I'll give you all the links to that once you're enrolled. And then yes, you can print out this page and say it morning and night or all day long. Super fun. There's more good ones on there. Okay.
Is there a way to see that later? I have my girls during that time. Is there like a way to see?
There's recordings. Yep. It'll be recorded for a limited time. And so if you have commitments during that part of the morning, then you can come in after kids are in bed. Great question. Okay. Yeah. And you can see the recordings. Somebody else had a question?
Yes. To register for the free one, when I'm on the website, it's asking me to do the one that you have to pay.
Okay, so the beginning page, you put in your name and your email. Great question. And then it'll take you to the page where you can do VIP. If you don't want to do the VIP, just scroll all the way to the bottom and it says, no, thank you, not VIP right now. And it'll just take you to the thank you page and you can link into the group. Did you, do you see it?
Yes, thank you.
Okay, perfect. Yeah. Great questions. Anything else? I know we're at the top of the hour. I want to respect your time. Excited for the challenge. Great. Jolene, excited to see you there. And Rachel, yes, you've got access. We talked about that. Okay, fabulous. Yay, working with a client. Love it. Okay. If there's nothing else, I'll just go ahead and turn the time back over for anything wrap up wise you want to do.
Yeah. Awesome. All right. Anybody else have any questions before we hop off about anything mindset related? And guys, I'll make a post in the support group. Oh, Jennifer, you said you uploaded it into a file section or something, so we don't need a list of who joins from our group then?
Nope, just anybody that comes through, you'll automatically go in the Facebook group.
Gotcha.
That's where general admission is, so everybody will be able to see the trainings inside the Facebook group. And once you're in there, then the files tab will have your affirmations. And if there's any trouble, you guys feel free to just message me directly. That's fine.
Okay, perfect. Sounds good. All right. If anybody has any questions, let me know.
Okay, can you purchase, I see the VIP separate, the vision mapping separate from the VIP. At this point, no, that's something I include for VIP. I've toyed with making it available separately, but I'll put some thought into that, and then maybe you can message me and we can chat about it. And that was Rachel. Okay, the name of the Facebook group is Feel Like a Billion. And once you register for free, and then you can go through, you can either do the VIP or hit the no thank you at the bottom of the page. That'll take you to the thank you page. And then there's a little button to go straight into the Facebook group from there.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, you're welcome. Anything else? Okay, I will see you.
That was great. Thank you.
You're so welcome.
Thank you so much, Jennifer.
My pleasure. Prosperous 2022 to you all.
Yes.
Thank you.
Too. Thank you.
You're
Bye.
welcome. Bye.